Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Be My Valentine collection from Iscream Nails, as well as their new Tone It Up collection. I have two collections to look at today that are available right now, so in the description box below I will link the Iscream site, I will link their Instagram page, I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from this collections. Ooh, I'm not used to saying that. From these collections. I will link a page to their stockist. They are an Australian company. They do ship pretty much worldwide, but just in case you are more comfortable ordering through a stockist, that will be down there as well. So I have a total of 10 polishes to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. So starting with their Be Our Valentine bundle, we have Cutie Pie, and this is looking very red on camera, but it is a very bright, hot pink cream. So here's our first coat of Cutie Pie. This one covers really well here on this first coat. It's not completely opaque though, so I am going to go in for a second coat. It does cover nice and evenly as well. I do appreciate that in a neon. This does, when it's built up, kind of lean more on the red side as well. So here's our second coat, and that does cover completely in two coats. This one is going to dry down to a matte finish. If you don't love that, you will want top coat to finish this off, but nothing in this is going to dry textured, stain, or be difficult to remove. So there is two coats. Up next we have Smoochy, and this is a pink that has a silver kind of metallic-y feel to it. Here's our first coat of Smoochy. So this covers really well here on this first coat. Not quite a one coater, but very close. This also has a really good formula, no running, pulling, or staining on this one either. The shimmer that's in here stands out really nicely. There are some brush strokes through this when it's wet, and those do go away as it dries. So here's our second coat, and that does cover completely in two coats. This one is going to dry down on the dull side, so you will want top coat for that reason, but nothing in this is going to dry textured, and since this is all shimmer, nothing is going to be difficult to remove either. So there is two coats. Up next we have Babydoll, and this is a berry pink holographic. Here's our first coat of Babydoll. So this one is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, not bad. Formula is very smooth, again, no running, pulling, or staining. I will say with this one, this is going to stand out much more holographic in the sun than it is in indoor lighting. It's not that kind of linear spectraflare hollow, it is more of a scattered hollow. So this is completely opaque in two coats for me. Depending on your application, you might want to go in for three. This does dry decently glossy all on its own. I would still recommend top coat to keep your manicure lasting, but nothing will dry textured or be difficult to remove. So there is two coats. And then lastly from this bundle we have Lovebug, and this is kind of a pinky red with a gold shimmer. So here's our first coat of Lovebug. This one also covers really well here on this first coat. It's not totally opaque, so I am going to go in for a second coat, but with these kind of super pigmented reds, I would recommend always using a base coat to avoid any kind of staining. I didn't experience any, but I also didn't leave it on for an extended period of time. The shimmer that's in here stands out, but it's not super apparent like it was in Smoochy. So bear that in mind. It's there, but it's not the forerunner of this polish. So this is completely opaque in two coats. This one is also going to dry decently glossy on its own. For that completed manicure look, I would still recommend using a top coat for this as well. So there is two coats. And then moving on to the Tone It Up collection, we have Unmuted, and this is a peachy cream. Here's our first coat of Unmuted. So this covers really well here on this first coat, but it is streaky, so it is going to have to be built up. Formula is good and easy to work with though, no running, pulling, staining, anything like that with this one. So here's our second coat, and that builds up really well in 2 coats, but I am a little heavy-handed, so I did still have some streaking. If you used a more steady, careful hand, you could probably get this one opaque in 2 coats, but I am going to go ahead and build it up on 3 coats for you today. So here's our third coat, and that does definitely cover completely. This is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. If you don't have time for a top coat, this is one that you could skip it if you had to. Again, your manicure won't last as long, but it's up to you. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Power Move, and this is a very original color in my collection. It's kind of a brown, kind of an orange cream. Here's our first coat of Power Move. So this covers really, really well here on this first coat. Not quite a one coater, so I am going to go in for a second coat. This does have a smooth and easy to work with formula. Again, no running or pooling. I did experience some skin staining. It didn't stain my nails per se, but as I was removing it, you'll be able to see in the next couple swatches that I had a really hard time getting this one off my skin. So this is completely opaque in 2 coats. This one is also going to dry down nice and glossy all on its own, and nothing is going to dry textured or be difficult to remove since it's just a cream. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have The Hustle, and this is a almost taupey mauve cream. Here's our first coat of The Hustle. So this covers nicely on the first coat, not completely opaque. I am going to go in for a second coat, but again, the formula is very smooth and easy to work with. I think their cream formulas are pretty solidly my favorites of what they do. They're all pretty opaque and easy to work with. So here's our second coat, and that does cover completely in 2 coats. Depending on your application though, you might want to go in for 3. This one, just like the rest of their creams, will dry nice and glossy. I would still recommend top coat for longevity purposes, and nothing in this will be difficult to remove. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Own It, and this is a more dusty pistachio green cream. Here's our first coat of Own It. So this one covers pretty well on the first coat considering the color that it is, but it is still streaky and it's not opaque, so I am going to go ahead and build this one up on 2 coats. This has a fantastic, very smooth, easy to work with formula, very easy. Their brushes make it very easy to get a nice rounded nail line and close to your side wall. So here's our second coat, and that does cover completely in 2 coats for me. Again, depending on your application on this one, you might want to go in for a third coat. Just like the rest of their creams, this is going to dry decently glossy. Top coat is totally your call, but I would still recommend it, and nothing's difficult to remove, so there's 2 coats. Up next we have Dealmaker, and this is a gray cream, but it's got like a hint of a blue to it. Here's our first coat of Dealmaker. So this covers really well here in this first coat. I do have a couple of streaky spots, so I am going to build this one up in 2. But again, a smooth, easy to work with formula, no running, pooling, or staining on this one. So here's our second coat, and that does cover completely in 2 coats. This one, just like the rest of their creams, will dry nice and glossy. You won't have any issues with removal or texture with any of their creams. So there is 2 coats. And lastly for today we have Bossy, and this is a metallic-y kind of champagne-y gold shade. So here's our first coat of Bossy, and this covers really well here on this first coat, but I am going to go ahead and do 2 coats just to cover up a couple patchy spots. Formula is very smooth and easy to work with. No running, pulling, staining, no brush strokes through that super strong shimmer, anything like that. This also has this kind of copper flake to it that's not apparent to everybody, but you will be able to notice it on your nail, and it is very beautiful. So this does cover completely in 2 coats. This one is going to dry on the dull side, so you will want top coat for that reason. Nothing's going to dry textured or stick to your nails like a glitter, but it does make a mess when removing it, so there's 2 coats. From the Tone It Up collection, my favorite would be Unmuted. I am kind of feeling peachy colors coming on in the springtime, and this is a really, really flattering peach on me. It kind of leans that orangey color, and I think it's really, really beautiful with a great formula. And then from the Valentine quad, Baby Doll is definitely my favorite. This beautiful holographic stands out so gorgeously on the nails. It's not too bright, but it's not too dark either. It's kind of like a year-round pinky color. So Baby Doll and Unmuted were my favorites from these collections. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up. Let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.